Welcome to KP Education Systems. This is a very quick overview of what KP can do for you and your students with our online learning system. First off, it is a system, so it includes everything that you would need for your students to learn. So this student is taking 4 classes, and I'm just jumping really quickly to show you what a class would look like. This is the ServSafe class. I can see that I've taken 2 tests already. I've scored 25% on those tests, not very good. But let's look at the content, forms and contaminants. Over here we have the content in various colors. We are able to listen to the audio. It can be either read by a person or by a computer, which allows you to do multiple languages if you need. And they can also take practice questions at the bottom. Now, the most unique thing about what we do is at the end of the section, they take a check your knowledge. This is known as a formative assessment that gives really good information and data to the student about how they perform. And what they do is they come over here, they answer a bunch of questions, and what the system does is it gives feedback in the form of colors. So in this case, we can see that we've mastered parasites, fungi, and other toxins, so that's been removed from the list, and we are told that we need to focus on these other subjects, but we really bombed food allergy and prevention, so we really need to go and spend more time studying those materials. So this is a feedback mechanism. It's designed for them to take the test multiple times so they level up. So as they improve these different areas, they get moved out of the stack, and they get then focus on the things that really require their time the most, so they can remediate the content and become masters of this information. So that's the student experience in a nutshell. They go through content. They could also work on a variety of activities and whatnot. So as a teacher, this is what you'll get to see. You'll get to see how the students are doing in each of the modules. You can see that like this particular column, hygiene is performing really well with the students, but over here, this one, food safety management, not so well. So you can see overall trends. You can see their grades and how they're performing, and you can also see the level of engagement. So the fuller the bar, the more engaged they are with the content and mastery of the curriculum. This is also used to help you determine who's ready to take the ServSafe exam certification if necessary. Now, as a teacher, you could do a lot of things. So this is a teacher's account, and what we see here is we have all these different classes. If I want to add another class, I just click here, and I can title this new class period 8. So it's really easy to add classes and also very easy to add content. So in this case, I have a class with these different content areas selected. But let's say I want to add stock sauces and soups to the class. I come over here, I click on save, and that module gets loaded into the system. Once the modules are loaded, I get to do some really good fine-tuning and edits. So if I'm working with IEP students or special needs or different types of classes, I can actually go in and make some changes, such as, let's say I want to move knife skills to the last thing on the list. Then we could do that and save those changes. I could go into stocks and soups, soups and sauces, and then come over here. And let's say that I don't need the soups section, so I'm going to delete soups, and I can save that. I can rearrange this as well. But then let's go in here and let's look at some of these topics. So this is the page on stock fortification. I determined that I do not need that, so I can remove that entirely. I want to change the order of consomme. There's a lot of things that you could do as a teacher to really help the students focus on what they need to learn from our materials, and we'll click on save here. In addition to that, we also have projects. So projects and activities are one of our most popular things in the system. So here is a project that is very fun to do. The next Food Network producer. So we have our problem statement, steps to solve the problem, our badge that the students earn, and then we come over here and we have all our steps, and then we have evidence that the students submit, which are answering questions, uploading a file, or utilizing a grading rubric that's built into the system. So there's a lot of different choices to be made here, and you can also edit these projects so that you can say, hey, I don't have these materials. Let me change the instructions and actually change it up. You can even change the questions on how you want to do things. Now, lastly, the most powerful thing in our system is our ability to generate tests. So our tests are very powerful. We have actually 2 types of tests. We have over here, we have a dynamic test and a checkpoint test. Dynamic test is something that uses like magic and wizardry to be able to magically select questions that are challenging for students. Actually, it's just artificial intelligence, but people call it magic. Checkpoint tests are the more traditional tests. So when you create a checkpoint test, what it does is it allows you to access our item bank. So this is a test I already created with 9 questions, but let's take a look at culinary history. Here are all the questions that are tied to the history of French cuisine page. And there you'll notice that we have a lot of questions. One of the things that we're really known for is our item bank, and we have approximately 10 times more items than most publishers out there with like content. And you'll also notice that our questions are also tied to Bloom's taxonomy. So I come over here and I can make some selections, pick questions I want the students to take an exam on, and then I come down here to the bottom, and then I can save that selection. And then once it's saved, I could actually have the students test it online. But if I have students who are not good at testing on electronic devices, or they don't have the availability, we could also create a printed version, change the number of distractors for various needs, and then here we go. And then we could copy and paste this to a word processing program. And just a special note, each time I generate a test, it randomizes not only the question order, but also the distractor order. So this will not be the same style and format if I do it a second time. So Delmenico is the first question. Let's do another printer friendly. And let's see, here is the father of American gastronomy is the first question. And these are also changed up as well if you want to compare that. So that is the brief overview of KP Education Systems. We have a lot of different content, but I just wanted to show you how our system works that allow you to be able to make changes, make edits, and really help the students move along.